Today's a special one, guys. In 1996, Sam and I ventured to the grand opening of the Virgin Megastore in Times Square to see Mark Hamill, who was making a personal appearance to promote, I believe, the release of the computer game Wing Commander 4, The Price of Freedom. Does that ring a bell for any of you?
Not not that one.
Not that one? No.
Yeah.
So if you do the math, 1996, we were both somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 years old at the time. Do you recall how we ended up going there, Sam? I know your dad brought us.
Oh, is that true? I didn't even remember that part. No, I remember I think I was just like listening to, Z100 or something. They they mentioned
Nice.
that Mark Hamill was gonna be signing autographs, and I told you about it because I thought that would that would be pretty interesting to do. And you immediately thought we should interview him. I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And so yeah, we went in there.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So as Sam alluded to, so we went to see him and we got our little action figure sign, whatever. And I guess I don't know how it came up, but we did an interview with him, a phone interview for a kids newspaper that we were sort of involved with at the time. And I don't believe this interview was ever published, ever printed. I don't think anything ever happened with it. It was just really an excuse to like be able to talk to Mark Hamill on the phone. And I think that there was like the intention to do it, but I think the paper folded or something. Do
Yeah, I
you have
think
any
the
memory?
people yeah, went out of business, or I don't even know if it was in business. I don't even remember I think it was like the Main Street News or something like that.
Main Street Journal was the name of the
That's
paper.
right.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, it
Um,
it it closed down before we got to publish it.
Yeah, so fast forward about 25-ish years. This is pre-COVID, so this is a couple years ago at least. But I was cleaning out some things at my parents' house and I came across this cassette tape and wouldn't you know, it was a recording of this phone call that 12-year-old Sam and 12-year-old me had with Mark Hamill, who was not 12 years old in 1996. He was somewhat older than that. I believe did I send you that, Sam, when I discovered it?
You did, yeah,
Yeah. I also did some sleuthing because I wanted to figure out when this actually was. So I like searched for like, Mark Hamill, Wing Commander, Virgin Megastore, 1990s, whatever. And much to my shock, there was some website, there was a Wing Commander site that had this like log of every promotional event that had ever happened in connection with the game or something. And they had this one, and there were photos from the event that I had no idea were even taken. I had no idea these photos existed. So I clicked on them. I was like, oh, weird. Okay, there were photos. And there were a zillion photos of you and me and Mark Hamill.
Wait, so the one that you, shared, like, a few weeks ago, that wasn't your personal photo? You got it from that site?
No, no,
yeah.
no,
I don't think
because
we took any pictures.
I had no idea these existed. Sam, what was your thought when I reached out after these years of, radio silence with these photos of you and me seeing Mark Hamill when we were 12?
At first, I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because, like, this is obviously a story I've told to people over the years, right? Like that's like my brush with fame, right? I interviewed Mark Hamill, and so I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, here's some like proof of it," and like I never thought I would hear of it again. And so like you sent it to me, and I clicked play, and immediately click stop, and have never listened to it since. Never shared it with anybody. So this is an interesting experience.
We have this interview, this recording, dear listeners, of Mark Hamill in 1996. He was ostensibly promoting, Wing Commander 4. I believe we must have gotten some instruction from his agent or something about what to talk about because a lot of what he talks about and we ask him about, we talk about Black Pearl, which was the comic that he was working on at the time, which like I don't know that we would have known about.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure yeah, you did all of the coordination. Like, I don't even know what that process looked like in terms of what the back and forth there was. You just told me, "Hey, there's a date. Mark Hamill's gonna call us. Come on over."
I like how it was a team effort. You got Sam, you got him, you got the you 2 to the store, and then coordinated the rest.
Yeah. I also remember some time, like, brainstorming questions with you, Josh, but, I think most of those came from you.
this is so ridiculous.
No,
I just
not putting the blame on you.
no, no, I just it's so funny that I don't even I don't know if you heard, but we recorded another episode where we read through a Star Wars newsletter that I made, I think a year prior to when we conducted this interview. So it's funny from my vantage point now. It's like I had this like burgeoning career as an entertainment journalist, apparently. Like, why would I have thought to what was I thinking?
It was kind of a good idea. It worked out.
I'm trying to imagine Mark Hamill's agent discussing questions with a 12-year-old, and that's pretty
Yeah.
fucking funny to me. I'm not gonna lie. That's a treat. You know, Mark Hamill doesn't want to talk about that, and he does want to talk about his comic, which, like, I mean, like, I've read that comic, and like, I'm not sure any 12-year-old is gonna fully
Right.
grasp what's going on in Black Pearl.
No, me neither. I went on eBay and I bought a copy of the trade paperback because I wanted to familiarize myself. And yeah, like this is not subject matter that a 12-year-old I think would gravitate toward or frankly should be reading.
It's kind of like Blank Man meets like Nightcrawler, the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal meets The Watchmen.
Yeah, yeah. Like, with like a weird hint of like the sort of the tone of Darkman
Yeah, yeah,
thrown in there
totally.
just for giggles. It's super weird. And the idea of you talking to an agent, little 12-year-old talking to Mark Hamill's agent is like chef's kiss. That's hilarious.
I have no idea. I mean, again, I have no memory of how this came about. I don't know if this was like you and me strategizing so that we would like seem cool, but I feel like I have some memory that there was a like a resistance to the Star Wars questions. Like we didn't want to come right out of the gate with like a whole bunch of Star Wars questions.
You don't want to seem too over eager.
Exactly, exactly. And like we don't want to seem like just any, Star Wars fans, right? It's like we appreciate
you're
the totality of your body of work, of which Star Wars is but one, albeit significant, but just one facet of your multifaceted career.
Yeah, trying to play it off like you're the only two 12-year-olds in 1996 who aren't cuckoo for Star Wars.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the first clip from this Mark Hamill interview from 1996 from 12-year-old Josh and 12-year-old Sam. So it sort of begins in the middle.
Very
So-
Star
so-
Warsy of you.
Well, before you play it, the thing I remember most about this, and like I recount to everybody, is how the interview actually began, which and I think partially explains why you forgot to hit record, which is that we were standing in your living room waiting for the phone call from Mark Hamill, and I remember you pick up the phone and have this extremely confused look on your face, and then you're like, yeah, okay, and then we get connected, and it turns out he called us Collect from California, which is extremely expensive at the time. So I remember that's the main thing I remember about this interview is Mark Hamill called us Collect.
Yeah.
It would have been great to have that first part on like a recorded.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all from Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. I think it's about a minute or so. So this is 1996. A couple of 12-year-olds very excited to talk to Mark Hamill. We all know and love as Luke Skywalker. Here we go.
Game it was, you had to do different versions depending on how the player, decided to move along. So I'd never done anything like that before, where there were so many different versions to film, and the script was much, much thicker than a normal script because there were so many variations, and we had a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun to make, and Tom Wilson kept us laughing, and Malcolm McDowell was great, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay. Sam and I are taking turns asking other questions, so
Okay.
I'll give him the phone now.
Okay, so that's the first clip. I believe that was my voice because I refer to Sam. So by process of elimination, that's me.
And it was about Wing Commander.
Yeah. He's talking about Wing Commander 4, The Price of Freedom, which was a big deal because like 96, like those full motion cutscenes where they actually like shot real actors and real sets. That was a big kind of exciting thing at the time.
I mean, yeah, it was a huge deal when I was a kid to see but mine was mostly was those interactions with Tim Curry and whoever they pulled in for Mist. Yeah, there was a
Oh,
while
Oh
in which
yeah, yeah.
when you saw like real actors on screen, you were like, ooh, like this isn't just like the game designer's brother. Like that's Tim Curry. Like that's Mark
Totally.
Hamill.
There's
Like it.
there's one with Corey Haim. I can't remember the name of it. I want to say Switch something. I can't
Well,
remember.
so
But it's a good-
I sent out the trailer to Wing Commander 4 I found on YouTube.
Mhm.
And it's wild, the actors that they have in this. Malcolm McDowell and Tom Wilson and Mark Hamill, obviously, and then also John Spencer, who was probably now is most well known as Leo McGarry on The West Wing. Like, it's just a crazy cast for like a cheapo video game. I don't know. Like at the time, this was like the cutting edge of
Well,
media.
it's weird if you watch like the trailer on YouTube, it's pretty clear video, which like I don't remember. Like I feel like that's not the experience that you have when you're playing them at home on your computer in like 1996. It's usually very like pixelated. So I don't know. I guess that's like from like obviously they must have like an original the original video for it.
I love those cutscenes because they really get across just like which actors in 1996 kind of needed the money.
Totally. So Malcolm McDowell, though, I think very famously, he never turns down an offer. Like he says yes to every job. So you see him show up in like some really like shitty low rent things. There was a movie there was like a right wing like C-list like direct to video, or I guess direct to streaming movie about Bernie Sanders, where like the whole gag was like Bernie Sanders is visited by the ghost of like Joseph Stalin or something, and like inspires him to become a politician because politicians don't have to work.
It's
He's
the
in this
Free Lunch
movie.
Express.
Yes.
Yes.
Free Lunch Express. Oh my God. Yeah. The Free Lunch Express is completely insane.
It's bonkers. And anyway, I'm pretty sure Malcolm McDowell is in that movie.
Yeah.
Not because he has any idea
What he's doing. Yeah.
what he's doing. He just he has a policy of like he never turns down a job. So
Yeah, that's wild.
so he will lend his gravitas to like right wing agitprop, and he will lend his gravitas to the cutting edge multimedia PC game experience of the day. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna play this second clip here.
Okay. How did you land the role of Colonel Christopher Blair in the last two Wing Commander games?
Well, let me see. They told me that Chris Roberts wanted to meet with me about being a part of the game, and I went in and we talked all about it. I had done one CD-ROM, a CD-ROM called Gabriel Knight, but I just did the voice. I mean, it was like an animated thing.
Okay.
And after he told me the story, and he asked, did I want to do it? I really wanted to do it. So off we went. That's the way I did it. I just met with the director, the creator, and we talked about it, and we decided that we both wanted to do it. So that's how that worked out.
Okay. Now I'm going to pass it back to Josh.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Oh man! All right. Well, I make my grand entrance there.
How does it feel to hear yourself at 12 years
Oh, man.
old?
It's pretty brutal, but it's all right.
Oh, you guys are
I mean,
adorable.
Yeah. The main thing I noticed with that is I was like, obviously like reading this paper with this name, like I had never played Wing Commander. I didn't know any of like, I was like trying to figure this out. Obviously I was there for the Star Wars, but we're gonna give Wing Commander some time.
You guys are pros.
If that's the price of entry to talking to Luke Skywalker, like whatever I got to do.
He knows that too. Like you knew that the whole time, and he's not. He's
for
not like.
sure.
He's not like cutting you a break and getting to it. He's like, no, I'm gonna let him ask all their questions that they carefully crafted to get to Star Wars.
So what's so interesting though is that so at this point in his career, this is not super far removed from Star Wars. Like he's still, like this is sort of that fallow period before Star Wars had a resurgence. Like this is before the special editions, before the prequels. I mean, obviously, we live in a crazy Star Wars saturated universe now where it seems like, obviously he's returned to Star Wars a couple of times in recent years. I feel like he's definitely at a point in his life where he's totally comfortable being known as Luke Skywalker. And I don't know if there was, I mean, I don't know, like maybe I'm projecting, but I feel like at that time, I'm wondering if the relationship he had with his fame for that role wasn't a little more complicated. I don't know. Like, I actually have no idea.
I mean, mostly in the 90s, he was the Joker.
Right.
Right.
That was what he was doing. He was doing, whatever, 60 or 70 episodes. I don't know how many they wound up making of that animated series, but like, I heard him on my television set when I was a kid because he was the Joker.
No, totally. Yeah. And that show is fucking awesome. And he's great in it.
Yeah, I had like a disconnect. It took me until I was like fully a teenager before I like finally realized those were the same person.
I think I knew they were the same person, and like I still couldn't put them together for a while because, like, I don't know. I just think of like little Luke Skywalker. It's weird to think that like Joker's voice is coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, that is weird.
Okay, let's play this next clip. So I've already lost track. So is this a me question or a you question now?
I think you're coming up next.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Let me see. Stop. All right. Which was more enjoyable to film, a Wing Commander 3 or 4?
Oh, that's the tough one. See, now Wing Commander 3, we weren't really sure whether or not it would be a success, but we still had fun. But when Wing Commander 3 came out and did so well, became one of the highest grossing games of all time, I think when we came back to do Wing Commander 4, everyone felt a certain sense of accomplishment and that we had been successful. So it was a little bit more of a sure thing. It's hard to pick, I enjoyed them both, probably for different reasons. But Wing 4 was much more ambitious. I mean, it was much bigger budget and kind of more of a challenge because we didn't want to make it just Wing Commander 3 all over again. We wanted to give the player a new experience.
Yeah, and I also heard that Wing Commander 3 was filmed on blue screen and 4 was filmed on live sets.
That's right. Actually, it was green screen, but it was the same process.
Yeah.
And you're right. And Wing Commander 4 with a much bigger budget, they built sets like they would for a traditional movie. So in Wing Commander 3, you really had to kind of use your imagination a little bit more because you had to look at the monitor and see what the background was going to be when it was finished, and just pretend. And that's what acting is, pretending.
Okay.
Did I catch a little like whispering between you two in the middle?
Yeah. I think were we whispering to each other? What were we talking about? What could we have possibly been talking about while Mark Hamill was talking?
I don't know. I remember like we were like so nervous and like we wanted to get it right that I feel like my vague like recollection is like we weren't really paying that much attention to what he was saying.
Yeah.
Such an overwhelming thing.
Well,
yeah,
Sam, you certainly weren't. I mean, I feel like Josh asked the first follow-up question in this interview. Like Sam would get his question and he would answer, and then Sam would be like, "Great, now, Josh."
Yeah, I remember that was one thing you actually, because I like at the end of my question, I was like, I'm going to give Josh back, and I'd probably do that a couple more times. I remember you told me stop doing that at some point. We got to be professional here.
Oh, you need to stop saying that.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, just from these first couple of questions and listening to his answers, he's really being very generous and really treating us like not like we're kids.
Right. He's talking to you like you're like adults. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, which is like really, really cool of him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okie doke. Sam, I think this is a you one.
Okay. Have you ever played Wing Commander 4 and are you good at it?
Yes, I played Wing Commander 4, and I don't consider myself a very good player. You have to have commitment to get better, and my problem is, at least right now, I didn't really have a lot of time to spend doing it. My son can sit there and play it for 3 hours straight, but I'm working on this comic book, and we always have deadlines. I mean, we always have to have material sent in by the end of the week, and it never lets up.
Okay.
So, I mean, I look forward to someday having the time to do it, but I haven't right now.
Okay. Back to Josh.
Okay, Sam.
Okay.
I like it.
Are there plans for Wing Commander 5?
I think I've heard some rumors about Wing Commander 5. Nothing for sure right now, but I think Wing Commander 5 might focus on the Maniac character.
Yeah.
I've heard that maybe it's going to be called Maniac's Mission, and that Colonel Blair would be in it, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive, and I don't think anybody at the company's sure right now either. So we have to kind of wait and see.
Okay.
I like how he tried to seg you from Wing Commander 4 into Black Pearl, the comic book, and you're like, anyway, Wing Commander 5. Like, what's
Like, I'm actually genuinely impressed with the graciousness of the answer he gave. Like, that was a bullshit question we asked him. Like, are you good at this video game?
Yeah, he could
And
he
he-
could have just been like, no, or been
No,
done
but
with
like
it.
he
But
gave
yeah, no,
he gave a very thoughtful answer.
yeah, I am impressed looking back at it. And meanwhile, I'm like, probably just like, okay, wrap it up. I don't know, like I've got nothing else to say. I felt like I was rushing him at the end. Like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Wing Commander. Okay, so maybe we're moving on from Wing Commander now. If I'm asking him about Wing Commander 5, so let's see what this question is.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your comic book?
Sure.
Okay.
It's called The Black Pearl, and it's about tabloid journalism. It's about sensationalism in the press. Those shows like Hard Copy and Inside Edition and Current Affair and all that. And it's about a guy who becomes an overnight hero, and it's an action adventure kind of a movie, more kind of a thriller, really, about a guy that decides that he wants to try to do in real life what he's only seen in comic books. He wants to really go out and get a costume and hide his identity and really go out and fight crime. But the difference is, it's meant to be a story that could really happen, not a story like Superman, which is fantasy. He has no superpowers. He has no magic. He's someone who uses his skills to create gadgets and try to give himself homemade superpowers. So it's hopefully it's an exciting story, but it's also what they call a cautionary tale, a kind of be careful what you wish for, because you don't know what's going to happen. And to me, I think it would be extremely difficult to go out and be a Batman, be someone who has an identity in the daytime and a different identity at night. But it's a graphic novel that's going to be starting in September from Dark Horse Comics in 5 parts. And that makes 110 pages altogether. And at the end of that, they're going to collect up all the stories in one book. Well, I should say, if the comic sells well enough, they'll do that. So hopefully people will like it and continue to buy it. So it'll come out September, October, November, December, and then January of '97 will be the last issue. And it's based on a screenplay I wrote with Eric Johnson, who's my writing partner. And we want to make it into a film eventually, and I would like to direct it, which is it's hard because if you're a first-time director, they're nervous because they want to make sure that you know what you're doing.
Okay, sounds interesting. Okay.
That actually does sound interesting. I would like to see this movie made.
So they like for 15 years, I think they continually almost got it made, and the closest they came, I think, was like 2010, and they got secured like a $7 million budget. And Eric Johnson, who I think is Mark Hamill's cousin, his screenwriting partner, I think his name's Paul Tomasi. They wrote that movie, The Fighter, the David O. Russell movie with Christian Bale.
No shit.
Probably right around that time, and so it came pretty close. I don't know how it kind of got derailed ultimately, but I feel like that, I think maybe because that's right after the Watchmen movie came out, So maybe they figured something kind of like with
Oh.
somewhat similar themes, what might be worth making.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, it does seem like a really, like a deconstruction of that, like, superhero form. Like, what are the real ramifications if that actually happened? If,
Right.
like, a guy actually tried to do this, how would that actually play out and intersect in our real world? Which is an interesting idea. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I just like the fact that he says to a 12-year-old, like those shows, like Hard Copy, like you've ever seen Hard Copy.
Huge with the 12-year-old demographic. It's
Yeah.
it's big.
I mean, once again, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be saying this again and again. I'm really impressed that he's not treating us like kids.
Yeah, but do you
Yeah.
think some part of it is like this is the 60th time he's been interviewed and he's just like running he's just like
Yeah.
gotten into the groove as to how to talk about the Black Pearl and how to talk about Wing Commander.
I mean, probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
not to say that he didn't respect you guys as journalists.
I think I really like the "Were you good at playing video games?" question. That's one he never got before.
Yeah, threw him for a loop.
Okay, let's play this next clip.
Okay. Who is the artist for your comic, and what other projects has he or she worked on?
He is the guy by the name of their initials H.M. Baker, Baker, and the most well-known book he's done is a book called Ghost from Dark Horse,
Mhm.
and he lives of all places, he lives in Bosnia Herzegovina, and so that's been difficult because it's not like if you guys were doing the artwork, I could at least call you guys up on the phone and say, hey, what about panel 3 on page 7? How come he's doing that? And we could talk about it.
Mhm.
But there's a language difference, and he's so far away that it's difficult to communicate. But he's doing an excellent job. I mean, he's really, really good.
Mhm.
And we're real happy with the art.
Okay.
Interesting. I have a feeling that I was just like, okay, what else can we ask him about? Why don't we ask him about who did the artwork? Because I can't imagine that I was that curious about the artwork, right?
This is all filler before you get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, I think that's exactly what this is. It's like I want to get him comfortable. I want him to get all his stuff out.
I think when we were brainstorming questions, like we wanted to like have like maximum like half the questions about Star Wars. I think we had like some kind of thing like that we were
Stratagem.
thinking. Yeah. So we had to like add this like random question.
You got a pie chart.
Oh, so you're saying because we wanted it to be like half non-Star Wars, so we needed like to squeeze that one more question in there? And we're
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that seems highly plausible.
Like, what can you ask about a comic book? Artwork.
Basically. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's exactly what that is. Okay, let's play this next clip.
Have you spoken with George Lucas recently? And if so, can you tell us anything about the new movies?
I spoke to George when I was doing Village of the Damned. So that was about around Halloween of 1994. He just told me that he's going to write all 3 of the new Star Wars in a row, and that he's going to be, very busy for the next year. So I really like seeing him when I can, but he's got to be one of the most busy people on the planet.
Okay.
I can tell that one was Sam because of his disinterested okay at the
it's
end.
my classic sign off. Okay, wrap it up.
Whatever, dude. Was George Lucas involved in Village of the Damned?
I don't think so. Maybe ILM was? Are there like special effects in that movie?
Because that would let some credence to a pick I made in an upcoming episode.
Oh, because that was a John Carpenter directed film, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you just wanted to hang out on the set.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if I played this one already or not.
Okay. Let me see. Does it bother you to be quote stuck with the character of Luke Skywalker?
Well, I never really felt stuck with it, and also I felt that in each of the movies he grew up and changed. So in a way, I was playing the same person, but it was a person who was changing from a young farm boy to a Jedi Knight. So that it was a challenge, and you know, I'm really fond of the character and of the project, so no, I felt happy with it.
Okay.
Can't believe we asked him that question.
We're pretty hard hitting.
And you said quote
Yeah.
stuck, like as if like everybody's saying it. Like,
I can't believe we asked him that question.
Yeah. He handled it pretty well. He sounded a little
Yeah.
bit annoyed
yeah, it did a little bit.
He did?
I
towards
mean-
the end.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like a almost defensive, like, well, you know, I'm not stuck with him.
Yeah,
Like, but
right.
like,
I'm not a farm boy anymore. You know?
I'm like retroactively very embarrassed. I can't believe we asked him that question. I mean, like certainly in that, like I don't know, like it's like I get the intention of the question, but surely there are better ways to phrase it.
Yeah,
no, I like that way. That's the
Yeah.
best ever did.
Probably the perfect way.
God, what a little dick. Okay. This whole thing was worth it just to play that clip. That was amazing. I can't
All right.
believe that. Okay, anyway.
We're done with the softballs, Mark.
We asked you about your little comic. Now let's get to the real stuff.
Tune in tonight on Hard Copy. It's Mark Hamill stuck with Luke Skywalker.
Is he quote stuck?
Oh man, okay. I'm kind of scared to play this next one now. Let's see. It seems like now the gloves are coming.
Do you collect Star Wars memorabilia?
Well, I used to get samples of the toys, but with having young children at the time, I could keep them like a collector would, you know, up in a box or up on a shelf or something. I could help but let the kids play with them all. So the collection I have is well used, and you know, they gave Princess Leia a Sinead O'Connor haircut, and you know, the pieces are all over the place, and I sort of realized that I wouldn't be able to be the kind of collector I am with other things. For instance, I collected a lot of Beatles memorabilia, but I try and keep that nice and in a box, and you you try and preserve it in its original form as best you can. So I collect a lot, but not very many Star Wars things.
Okay.
Interesting. It was a more interesting answer than I was expecting.
What a little time capsule of the 90s, though, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That Sinead O'Connor reference. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. It's like such a specific time. It's such a specific moment in time when we did this.
And then you expect a 12-year-old to know about Sinead O'Connor's haircut.
That's so funny. And I didn't realize he collected Beatles memorabilia. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He gave such an
Yeah.
in-depth answer, right?
Yeah.
He actually collected comics at least at this time, because I just saw a YouTube video from like a 1996 video where he's talking about his extensive comic collection. I think he had like Detective Comics number 27, which is like the first time Batman appeared. So
Were you doing research in preparation for this?
yeah, just a little bit.
I love it. It's great. It's amazing.
I was trying to find like anything he did around the same time.
That's amazing.
It just occurred to me with that very long answer he gave you that earlier in this interview he was saying that like he doesn't have time to play Wing Commander because he's really busy with this comic and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, are you that busy? I mean, you're taking like a while to take this interview with 12-year-olds, you know.
This could have been Wing Commander playing time.
I mean, maybe he thought we had much better reach than we obviously did, and he thought this is like well worth his time to, get the word out there.
That would not be very smart of him.
He does not have good instincts.
Okay, here we go. Is this a you or a me? I don't remember, Sam.
Let me see.
Is
What
this
grade are you guys in?
Actually, Sam's in 5th grade, and I'm in 6th grade.
Sam's in 5th grade and you're in
In 6th grade.
6th grade, and this
Mhm.
is for your school paper.
Well, it's not really a school paper. It's just it's an independent kids newspaper that was started 4 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd love you guys to send a copy to me when
Oh,
you
sure. Yeah, of course. Okay. Let me just see where I am now. Okay. When you watch a movie that you were in 10 or 20 years ago, what do you think about yourself as an actor?
Well, Matt, I don't. I watched it when it first comes out, whether it's on television or in the movies,
Mhm.
and I see it when it comes out, and then I don't watch it again. So I haven't seen the movies, any of the Star Wars movies, since the year they first came out.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I've never seen them on videotape.
Oh, okay.
Lot to chew
Wow.
on in that one.
I feel like you guys should be able to relate to why you don't want to go back and listen to yourself from 20 years ago.
Totally, 100%. Oh man,
Spoiler, he never got a copy of this.
yeah, yeah. I don't remember if we said this while I was recording or not, but this interview never saw publication because I believe the paper folded.
If I remember correctly, though, you really like you felt obligated. You wanted to like give him an explanation, but like the only way we had to communicate with him was through this address he gave us. So you wrote him a letter explaining that the newspaper went bankrupt, and then I think you like severely injured yourself
I
biking
did.
to the
No, you're
mailbox.
right. Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, I was riding my bike. Oh my God, yeah, I totally forgotten about this. But as soon as you said it, it just like sent a flood of memories coming back. so, so it was the day before the first day of school. So I was about to start 7th grade, and I was riding my bike to the post office to mail this letter to Mark Hamill, and there was like a truck that like blew a stop sign, and I swerved to not hit or be hit, I guess I should say, by the truck. I fell and I landed right on my shoulder, and I still have the scar actually on my shoulder. Yeah, I still have a scar on my shoulder from when I was on my way to mail Mark Hamill a letter in 1997 or 6, I guess.
And then I can't remember. Did you actually end up sending the letter, or like because you were so injured? Like
I have no idea.
I
I
like
don't
how,
know.
wait, he might still be waiting.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like how this interview just turned into Premium Rush, like that Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie.
And if you ever run into Mark Hamill, you can explain, I was the guy who interviewed you. Also, you caused me to get hit by a car.
Very dramatic.
Oh my God. Let's play this next clip.
Did you prefer filming the Tatooine sequences in Tunisia or filming Tunisia, or filming the hot sequences in Norway?
Oh God, they were both difficult because of the weather. In Tunisia, that was the very first week of filming, and so it was so brand new, and we were off in a strange land, and I had such great memories of that time. The Norway, it was so cold and hard to see, and you had to be so protected against the elements in your costume. They were both enjoyable for different reasons, but I guess if I had to choose, I would choose the Hoth sequences, and also not Hoth, excuse me, the Tatooine, the desert sequences, and partially because it was my home planet, and it was the first time I worked with the robots, and as hot as it was like the beginning of a new adventure. By the time we were doing Hoth, it was in the second movie, and it had been a great big success. Now we were trying to make the second one as good as the first one, and my wife was pregnant with my first son. So, you're bringing back a lot of memories just right now.
Okay.
And, if people ask me which is your favorite movie and of the three, and I really don't have one. I mean, it's like trying to pick who's your favorite child. You like them all for different reasons.
I like how he split the difference on the pronunciation of Tunisia. Like, it was very kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, how do you feel about Josh now?
Yeah, you embarrassed me in front of Mark Hamill.
Embarrassing me in front of Mark Hamill.
That is the most brutal thing I've ever seen a kid do to another kid.
That
And
was incredible.
Yeah.
he said your name too. Like, make it clear who's talking.
Yeah.
Sandwich, Tunisia, you're embarrassing me in front of Luke Skywalker. That was incredible.
It's funny. I was really waiting for that question because when I think back, that is the only question I remember us asking.
Really?
Because yeah, when people ask, like, I say I interviewed Mark Hamill when I was like 11 years old or whatever, and they always ask, "Would we ask?" And I was like, "That's the question," and they always want to know the answer. It's like, well, he said Tatooine because that's his home planet. Is what I always remember from that, which I thought was great answer for kids, but I didn't realize he kept going into depth there
Yeah.
too. I also don't remember not knowing how to pronounce Tunisia. That
Yeah.
I blocked out of my memory.
I apologize for jumping in to correct you. That was unprofessional. That was unprofessional of me. No, but you're right. That was a good answer. He again. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. It's nice to hear he's very thoughtful and not like Tatooine. It's my home planet. Next.
Okay, what was it like working with Harrison Ford?
Well, Harrison is just a wonderful actor and a great guy,
Mhm.
and he's a lot of people would be surprised to know how funny he is. Very funny guy. He can make you laugh, and even though he's more serious when he's acting, but he was a great pal. He really was a great friend to me, and I miss him.
Okay.
It's a sweet answer.
Yeah.
He's talking about him like he's
Luke's dead.
Yeah, seriously. I guess they don't hang out much.
Maybe not in the mid 90s.
At
Yeah.
this time, he was probably shooting like with Wolfgang Peterson. He was shooting Air Force One, probably.
Oh yeah. Right.
Or the Devil's Zone with Brad Pitt.
Certainly someone
I
that
think
wasn't stuck as Han Solo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Are you working on any other projects?
Right now, I'm doing a lot of animated voices. We're doing Wing Commander Academy, which will come on the USA Network in the fall, which is the story of Colonel Blair and Maniac and Tallwyn and everybody, but when they were just starting out at the Wing Commander Academy. So I'm not a colonel. I'm just a cadet. And that'll be on the USA Network, like I say, in the fall. I'm also doing 3 voices a week on a new series called Bruno and the Kid with Bruce Willis. And I'm Gargoyle on Hulk, which is going to come on Sunday mornings pretty soon. And we're trying to get a deal to make Black Pearl as a film. And that's why the comic book is so important, because if enough people buy the comic, it'll make it easier to get the movie made.
Okay.
That's why I hope all the kids reading this will at least try reading Black Pearl and see if they like it.
Okay.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts on that one?
I'm surprised Black Pearl wasn't a bigger hit with the demographic you guys represent.
Well, to be fair, we never published this interview. So
Right, I
We
know.
could have
Yeah.
made a difference. Yeah.
they were really counting on this
Yeah.
publication as a part of their
It was always meant for the
marketing
kids.
Okie dokie,
Okay.
here we go.
I just heard that you're working on a movie version of Black Pearl.
Well, we want. It's not a definite thing,
Right.
Like I say, the success of the comic book has a lot to do with whether or not we will be able to make it as a movie. But that's what our intention is. What we need is a producer. We need somebody that'll give us the money to make it.
Mhm.
So hopefully, if the comic book is a success, then we'll be able to make a film of the Black Pearl, which I would like to direct.
Okay. What are your plans for the future?
Well, I'd like to continue writing.
Uh-huh.
And I would like to sort of try my hand at directing. I don't know whether I'll like it or not, but me, the ultimate experience would be to write something that you eventually direct, because it would be your story. A lot of the times as an actor, you perform in these projects that you didn't write, that you're not directing, and it's a collaborative effort. Everybody pitches in.
Mhm.
And I just want to see if I can do more than just act.
Okay.
That's a very thoughtful answer. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but
Did he ever direct anything?
He directed one feature. It was called Comic Book the Movie from like 2004. And I never saw it, but it's like a kind of a mockumentary about a comic book creator.
that's
So
interesting.
he plays the comic book creator too.
Okay, this is the last clip of this interview. Here we go.
Those are all of our questions, Brad. I just wanted to say one thing. We had a friend that really, really, really wanted to speak to you, but he couldn't be here. So, could you just say a little something other we could pass on to him?
What's his name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. What does he want to do? He doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I missed him. You can tell him I'm sorry I missed him, and that I'm grateful that he wanted to talk to me. You know, I mean, I
Yeah.
need. I see. The thing is, people got to understand. You people, you people out there that go to the movies or watch television or read comic books. You're the ones that make our careers. I mean, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't work at all. So
Mm-hmm.
we're. I know I'm really grateful to. I can say the word fan because I'm a fan too. But I at least am very aware of the audience and really thankful that they give us the chance to work like they do. So I would say to all of you to continue on, and I don't know. I mean, Black Pearl is really it's for like older people. It's not really for kids. But I mean, talking to you guys, you don't sound like kids to me. You sound like young adults.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we'll send you a copy of the paper,
Thank you.
and that's it. And Sam would just wants to say goodbye.
Okay, thanks, John.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much for letting us interview you. And
Thank you, Sam.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
What a sweetheart. What a sweet man.
Yeah.
Wait, so is the Jonathan he's referring to the same Jonathan who couldn't be here with the recording today?
No, it's not the same one, but for the purpose of this interview, of this episode, let's say yes.
Yes. like he was like, "You want to give me something to work with, Jonathan?" You're like, "Nah."
No.
He hears the hesitancy in your voice too, when you're like, "So what does Jonathan want to do?" And you're like,
We're 12. We have no idea.
And I couldn't help but really laugh when he's like, I mean, you guys don't sound like kids to me. I'm like, we absolutely fucking do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we thought we did at the time or not, but I'm listening to it right now, and yes, we absolutely sounded like absolute children.
He's just buttering us up.
I mean, you heard the way Sam pronounced Tunisia.
No, but seriously, like, I mean, once again, I feel like we were trying to squeeze as much out of this interview as we possibly could. And like, we're like, hey, could you give us a message for our friend? And like, he spun it into a really lovely sign off
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
like how it's all about us and stuff.
About all the Jonathans of the world.
So I'm still good friends with John. It's weird that we called him Jonathan. Usually he goes by John. I'm still good friends with him. So now that we have this recording, I'll have to send this along. I'm sure we never fully delivered this message before.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean,
That's all.
actually, I have no idea. Maybe we did. I don't know. Yeah. So, any takeaways or observations, closing thoughts from this
Well-
interview that was locked in the vault for?
Mark Hamill is definitely very sweet, and he gave you more time than like he would if he was on like Tonight Show or something. Like you said, what it was like 20 minutes.
In totality, it was about 20 minutes. Yeah. It was just really lovely of him to agree to do this to begin with. I mean, I think I explained the story at the beginning, but like we just showed up to a public appearance he was making, and I guess we're like, can we interview you? And he, I believe, gave me the contact info for his agent, and like he didn't have to do that.
The thing I keep thinking about is that he's just put up Black Pearl, which is this kind of scathing look at journalism and media and the interaction between the two. And so like he's probably at a point in his life where he maybe doesn't have such a positive opinion of journalists and the people who he's doing these interviews
That's a
with,
great
and
point.
he gets to do an interview with two 12-year-olds who are just like pure at heart.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That's a really good point.
he must have really loved the like excitement of just like, you guys don't know, you don't have ulterior motives. There's no gotcha journalism. You guys can't pronounce Tunisia. You know?
No, I think you're onto something there. I mean, I've always kind of thought of this in my memory as like he was like doing something nice for a couple of kids. But yeah, the flip side of it is that, it must have been on some level kind of fun or refreshing for him to have this interaction with a couple of kids who were just like, I mean, like you say, like just not cynical and totally there for the love of him and his work. I mean, that's something I never really thought of.
Yeah, and I mean, modern day Mark Hamill now has like kind of a brand as like a nice guy on Twitter, right? So like it seems
Yeah.
to go pretty deep.
You're right, Sam. Like he seems very gracious in terms of fan engagement and engaging with people on Twitter. And it just seems like I think he said, I think it was him, something to the effect of, I read him say somewhere, it's like, when you realize that you have the power to like make somebody's day just by showing up, that's a really, incredible power to have through like a small amount of effort on his part. He's able to maybe give someone an experience that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. And that's actually kind of cool. And it's a responsibility as well.
I think you're right. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that attribute or something like that attribute to him. But before he was a nice man on Twitter, he was a nice man who was almost in a children's newspaper, but not quite.
Sam, I know that both you and I approached this with some trepidation about listening to our 12-year-old selves. How do you feel now that we've listened to it? Are you glad we did it?
Yeah, I mean, I needed to listen to this at some point because it's definitely a story I tell from time to time. And it's a little bit different than I remember it. It's still mortifying in all sorts of ways, but it's it's also really sweet and really nice. So
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I think we did it. We did an okay job. We were definitely kids, though. He was very wrong about that.
Mr. Hamill, if you're listening, you were very wrong to treat us like adults and to mislead us into thinking that we were more mature than we are. Well, anyway, I want to thank Mark Hamill, our guest Mark Hamill, for a lovely interview. And Sam, thank you so much for being game to do this. I wasn't sure if you would have any interest. I'm so glad you did because this is a
Sure.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot
this
of
is
fun.
this is pretty hilarious.
No,
I
it's
won't say
great.
no to this sort of thing.
And thank you, Tim. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. What are your feelings? Was this what you thought it would be, or is this surprising to you?
I'm surprised that Sam was at any point a child. So yes,
Proof is there, though.
quite surprising.
Thank you for joining us, Tim, and thank you, Sam. And Fry, any closing thoughts?
You two were two little cuties at the time.
And on that note, if you liked what you heard, please visit us at trashcompod.com, where you can rate and review the show and follow TrashCompod across all social media. And we will see you on the next one.